Good morning, everyone. It is Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's video, we're going to be going over the severe weather threat again. And for how it's looking like, it looks like we did get a marginal risk issued by the Storm Prediction Center for portions here of northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, maybe a little bit of Iowa, especially this tip right here. So we'll definitely have to watch these areas very closely. But let's actually go ahead and start off with that threat. So on day one, as you guys can see, we do have a marginal risk for severe weather. I did look at all the hazards, and all hazards are in play, including a brief tornado threat. So as you guys can see, all hazards are definitely in play for Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and as well as eastern Iowa. So if you do live in those areas, weather where it will definitely be a concern. So make sure you are being weather aware out there. If you do live in southern Wisconsin, anywhere in northern Illinois, including Chicago, or even in portions here of eastern Iowa. Now, if we look at day two looks to be a little bit interesting because we do have a long general risk for thunderstorms heading from Texas all the way up through the Arklatex region, and then back to parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, and maybe even getting into portions here of southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and then maybe into a little bit of southern Ohio. So we'll have to really watch closely to see if we do get any pop-up thunderstorms. And like I said, the main concern might be a severe weather threat. That is what I said during the last couple of videos, and we might need to watch for a severe weather threat. And the only problem is that let's go down here and see what they're saying about this one. And it says the severe risk appears minimal because it says only around 500 joules per kilogram with strong vertical shear, fall, small hail, or a few strong thunderstorms may occur with any convection, but overall the severe risk appears minimal. So it sounds like if we do start to see some strong thunderstorms develop, we might get upgrade to a marginal risk in some of these areas, or it could even be a long marginal risk. We'll have to see though, but this will be for tomorrow though, so we got about a day till we do head into I guess a stormy day. So if you do have any plans for Friday into Saturday, which will pretty much be for tomorrow, I hope you guys are maybe getting prepared for the possibility of a few strong thunderstorms, especially if you do live in this general risk. Now, if we go back, and we're going to be starting off by taking a look at this, okay? So as you guys can see, we actually will be seeing at least some pretty decent cape. So as you guys can see, Illinois might start off pretty severe on Saturday, because as you guys can see, we actually will see a pretty good supercell development. I never seen the significant tornado parameter get this high. So if we do see an observed tornado across portions here of Illinois, we might see these storms just track off straight east, but that would only be if we see one. We still don't know if we're going to be seeing a severe thunderstorm warning, and that is kind of a problem still. So we'll have to still watch very closely, like what I've been saying in the last couple of videos, and I did not mean to do that. Let me go back to where I was. I did the NAMO. I was here in the Midwest. And let's actually go ahead and take a look at something else, because we already looked at the significant tornado parameter. Let's go ahead and look at the surface base cape now. So as you guys can see, we actually will be talking about some pretty decent cape across these areas. So it looks like it'll start out as some pretty good cape across Illinois, maybe even portions here of western Indiana, and then just going here into southern Indiana and back into Ohio, and then just coming down into maybe portions here of eastern Pennsylvania. Let's go ahead and look where that cape really wants to go, because if we want to know where it will go, we gotta look at the New England area and geez, that cape actually does kind of continue into portions here of Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and more. But we're not worried about that area right now, guys. We're just worried about this area here in the Midwest, because this is where we do have the severe weather threat in play. So we're definitely going to have to watch very closely, guys, especially for this line of cape moving through, because you guys see it moves through Indiana and Illinois pretty briefly. And what I mean by that is just moving through really fast. You can't really see what it all does, but I mean, we're definitely gonna have to watch very closely. What about the surface-based cape again? It sounds like I just accidentally changed it, but we're gonna go to let's see here. We're gonna go to unstable cape, and let's see how that looks like. And pretty widespread with the unstable cape and shear. It is showing some pretty decent cape. I don't think this is necessarily going to be the fuel for thunderstorms, guys, because like I said, I think the surface-based cape and as well as the mixed layer cape are the two capes that do help fuel the thunderstorms, but unstable cape and shear are kind of just, I haven't really learned about that yet, but it kind of sounds like it's just in a certain part of the atmosphere that doesn't help it fuel the thunderstorms. But I mean, pretty widespread for the unstable cape. So definitely looking pretty active across some of these areas. And like I said, I don't think this necessarily is what fuels the thunderstorms. It's mainly going to be the mixed layer cape and as well as the surface-based cape that do fuel the thunderstorms. But I mean, I might be wrong. This actually might be what does help fuel the thunderstorms. And if it were to be, then we would see several hundred joules per kilogram. And as you see, we are actually showing it is actually showing over 1,000 joules per kilogram in some areas. It looks like, yeah, pretty close to 1,000 actually. So we're definitely gonna have to watch closely. And again, supercell composite actually continuing through Indiana, Illinois, especially Illinois, because we do have a couple threes popping off. But like as it does head into Indiana, it looks like you guys might have a lower chance, but we still can't completely rule out a marginal risk for severe weather as we do head into Saturday. But let's go ahead and look at the GEFS model. And for this model, we're going to select supercell composite. And as we continue to take this forward, we actually will be seeing a decent amount of I guess you can call it a decent amount of supercell development across this area. Just a 1, which is about the lowest possible. This 0 is pretty much the lowest, but 1 is definitely enough to maybe get a few strong storms going. So we're definitely going to have to watch that. And as you see, we take this back one a little bit higher across Arkansas, but I mean, we're still going to have to watch very closely, okay? This is definitely going to be a pretty big deal, guys. So definitely start being aware of this. And if we look at the sheriff model or the SREF model, you can call it either one. We're going to go ahead and look at this, and we're going to go ahead and look at the cape, and we're going to go ahead and zoom in if we can. It doesn't look like we can, so we're just going to continue to take this forward, or we're going to go back actually, but as we continue to take this forward, it doesn't really show a whole lot of chance for thunderstorms across portions here of Illinois and Indiana. And I selected 500 or more, so I'm pretty sure this is the chance of 500 or more joules per kilogram. So it's saying there's about a 45% chance of 500 joules per kilogram or greater. And there's actually, it looks like they start to bring a almost 100% chance of 1,000 joules, or 500 joules per kilogram or greater. So I mean, that is what it is. If you look at the red and match it on the scale, so the red equals an 80% chance of joules per kilogram, and it's saying this area has a 75% chance. So I'm pretty sure I got it right, the percent chance of seeing 500 joules per kilogram or greater. So it is pretty interesting that one of the models does do that. So definitely interesting right there. But what about the gym RDPS model? Let's go ahead and select the Midwest again. And we're going to go ahead and go back. And as we continue to take this forward, it actually still shows some cape moving through portions here of Indiana, Illinois. Some areas could even see as much as 300 in some areas. But pretty interesting by the moment. But we're definitely going to have to watch pretty closely, guys. Pretty closely for maybe a few brief rumbles of thunder. And yeah, we're definitely going to have to watch that. Let's go ahead and look at the RAP model, and it actually shows that cape coming in pretty early, guys. Look at that. Wow. The RAP model actually wants to show over 500 joules per kilogram being pretty widespread across southern Indiana, even heading back to portions here of Illinois, back to western Kentucky. So the RAP model definitely wants to go pretty crazy with this cape. And look, it even continues into Indiana for like the next few runs or so. Just look at that, guys, and then even more cape moving through. So I mean, the RAP model or the RAP model, either one, just as being very aggressive on the cape, guys. This is really the only model that is showing this cape just continuing and continuing and continuing for pretty much half of it, because you see it just comes in at the 28 mark and it just continues. So I mean, about half of it, and what I mean by that is half of the time, so like pretty much from here all the way down, is showing cape just continuing through the Ohio Valley, which is pretty aggressive, guys. That is pretty aggressive. Let's go ahead and look at this model now. Let's see what this one thinks. And this one does show a little bit of cape moving through. Yeah, it actually does show a little bit of cape moving through too as well, even on Friday. So I mean, I think we got enough model agreement to where it's a 50-50 chance between seeing severe storms on Friday and seeing severe storms on Saturday. But for how it is looking like, it sounds like Saturday night, or I mean Friday night rather, might be the main concern for thunderstorms. But even during the day on Saturday will also need to be watched too as well. So we're definitely going to have to watch these areas extremely closely, and I hope you guys are being weather aware if you do live in the Ohio Valley, including Ohio. I just want you guys to be weather aware of a possible significant change with these models. But I mean, we're only heading one day out, and quite a bit of the models again have been showing that cape moving through Indiana on Saturday, guys. So pretty interesting to see. Lots of that happened. But thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying this video. We will continue to keep you guys updated on how it's looking like, but models haven't really changed the direction of the cape. They're still showing at least some cape, at least some in the way of cape moving through portions here of Indiana. But thank you guys very much for watching, and I will do one tomorrow.